everyone, my name is Mel and I am one half of Hustling Hooks together with my husband, Adine. Today is Sunday, January 31st, and if you watched our last video, you know that I quit my job and tomorrow is actually going to be my first full day working on eBay. We are going to walk you through everything we've been doing this weekend to get ready for that. Let's get into it. So this is currently what our dining room looks like. Now, this is extreme, even for us. We are trying to start February off with a bang, processing and listing like maniacs. Clearing the eBay room. So I'm gonna walk you over there and explain why we're trying to get all of this under control right now. So here's our eBay room. You may remember at one point this was worse, but at one point it was also better. So it was all cleared out and then everything just went to heck and we started putting boxes back in here. We had a lot of inventory coming in at the same time and we were just overloaded with it. But for me to be able to work effectively and efficiently, this needs to be a workable space. Here's one of the projects we've been working through this weekend is we have a number of things that we're either parting out or selling together that we just haven't had time to get to. This is one of them. This is pre-owned, but we have the box. We are going to sell it all together, but we just needed to get it out, verify that it was all here, clean the parts, get it ready. And we've been doing that with just so many things this weekend. We've cleared out a lot of space here. And this was just a really big to-do on my list. Here's an example of an instance where we are not going to part this older appliance out. This is just a standard older model KitchenAid blender, has the glass spout cup thingy. And normally we do part these out, but with this particular model, there were enough sold comps where it was priced together at a high enough price point where separating it didn't make a lot of sense. There's really only the base. And then if you want to get real technical, you could split these off, but a lot of them were just selling together like this. And parting them out was actually going to be less or equal to selling it together. Selling it together, we only have one shipping cost. So that's what we decided to do with this model. And that's just how we think through, are we going to sell it in pieces or are we going to put it together? Let's see what Adine is up to. We've started the process of moving our inventory down.
Hey. Yeah, so the loft has been built, so I'm creating another inventory box just because we're so full right now. So we're just gonna have a couple of boxes and bags up in that loft that are like clothing and shoes, a little bit slower moving items. That way they're out of here. It's been a long weekend, that's for sure, but very, very, very productive weekend.
Yeah, we'll share the before and after of the number of listings as well. And we've been selling all weekend too, so we'll kind of go over those when we get to our what's sold for this weekend as well.
Right, there's the pile. So we've been kind of getting stuff that's been sold, getting it ready and staged while just moving everything around. It's extremely chaotic in here. Forgive us, but this is the sacrifice of running this business.
Yeah, and the point is that it will be less chaotic tomorrow morning so that I'm not concentrating on this busy work and we can start fresh and be effective. Right now, this inventory system is very basic. We're in the process of improving it right now for the shed. We're working through some shoes. We recently did a huge batch of them. So right now we're just labeling these boxes and we have a lot. These are just really big cardboard boxes and some plastic boxes right now. Putting the shoes in and then we go in and we put them under the custom SKU in our eBay store or right in the description if you don't have that feature. That way, when it sells, we know to look in S1, S2, wherever it may be. But we're also pulling up some of these that we've had downstairs for a while, and we're going to be moving them into the loft that's in our garage right now, because long term, that's where we're going to have a lot of shoe racks, and this will get even more refined.
Hi. Follow me.
Don't mind that. That's just our mess.
That's fine. So here's the loft.
Yep. This is our first box we'll be putting up there. So it begins.
Climb on up one. Let's show them, give them a tour.
So right now we just have this ladder to get on up here. But this is all space waiting to be filled with shoes and pots and pans. Very exciting. For now, it's a place for us to start moving the boxes of shoes over so that they're out of our house. But at least they'll be in the same spot that we have to unload them.
You fit so nice up there. You can even almost stand up.
I can stand up under the eaves.
There you go. Perfect. Yeah, so this is it. This is the loft. Those windows will be removed. Those windows here will stay. Like Mona said, we're just getting some inventory up here, including some packaging material, some boxes, just kind of starting to organize it. There's Toddy. Hi, Toddy. She's making sure that we're doing everything right. And for the first time ever, we actually have a garage in here, which is really nice. Obviously, a lot more work to do, like I said in a previous video. Lots of organizing to do. Honestly, this looks overwhelming. It really isn't. It's just a lot of boxes and stuff that just needs to be processed, but you can kind of see it in the daylight. You know, this will be the workspace, the photography, packaging, and so on and so forth. And we have to figure out a way. We're going to build some sort of stair system so we can get up and down from the loft pretty easily. Yeah. Let's go for a walk, Toddy.
Let's go for walkies.
Should we go for a walk?
Go for a walk?
Let's go for a walk. Let's go. Let's go. We got to get your leash.
Yes.
Go. For all you folks in beautiful Sunshine States. It's kind of rough, you know, but if you're not driving in it, it's really not that bad. And today isn't like a horrible day. It's just cold. Right, Toddy? Toddy doesn't care. She's ready to go. So now that the world knows that you are, I think you're considered now part-time plus, because you're gonna be working, what, 3 days a week?
Yes.
Day one, what's the agenda like?
Wake up, have coffee, number one thing, most important. No, I'll get up with Jess and we'll have breakfast, wait for my mom to come. I think she's planning on getting here about 9:30. And then I have a bunch of stuff on deck to process. It'll just be really quick, knock it out. And then hopefully I'm gonna fit in some thrifting tomorrow, come back, get those ready for processing the next day.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's my plan.
I took tomorrow off as well, so I'll be there.
Great.
I probably won't go thrifting with you. I'll probably stay behind and keep processing, because we do have a nice chunk of clothing to go through, that's for sure.
Yeah, big pile, but it's not difficult, it's just tedious.
This is correct. Look at this beautiful view. Did I tell you how proud I am of you?
Yes. Thank you.
Toddy.
Toddy, did you hear that? Tasha's so proud of you.
What are you finding? What'd you find? Little sniffer? We're going to finish our walk, grab our kid. This is the first time she's ever spent 2 nights away, which is pretty crazy, so we miss her. Hang out with her and the family tonight, and then as soon as she's done, we're going to show you guys what's sold and do some more processing. So we'll see you later today. So here's where we're ending the day. It is evening time now. It's about 10 p.m. and we got a huge dent of this done. It's not perfect, not 100%, but it's a great start for tomorrow. And there's just a little bit more to clear out of the eBay room and a lot of things that I have on deck to process tomorrow. Let's go over what sold. Let's go over what sold. I can't do it with a mask. Oh.
There he is.
Not for sale. Occasionally our daughter enjoys riding us while we wear this thing. Anyways, so it's 10:20 or so. The nice thing is that we don't have to pack everything up tonight because the lady behind the camera is going to be working tomorrow in our eBay business. So let's get into what sold this weekend. We'll share what we paid, what we sold it for and roughly how much shipping will be. And at the end of it, I'll include a nice table and tell you exactly how much money we get to keep. So the first part I'm gonna cover are these Cuisinart griddlers, which is a new item for me. I found this complete one at our local Goodwill for $12.99. It came with extra set of these pans, or whatever you want to call these plates. It was pretty dirty, but it cleaned up pretty well. So anyways, this sold for $65 shipped. And then the funny thing is, a couple of days after I found that, I was looking on Facebook Marketplace for them. What we tend to do is when an item sells really well for us that we just learned about, then we'll go on our local Facebook area and search it and see if we can find something similar to flip. So I found another one, but it was not worth selling complete, so I parted it out. And the funny thing is, I looked up comps and just these little knobs were selling, so I paid $15 for that entire unit that came with 2 sets of plates as well. These 3 knobs I just popped out and they sold for $15 shipped. They'll be first class. These 2 cups came with the one from Facebook Marketplace, but I paired it with the one that sold for $65. And then another set of plates sold for $35 shipped off of that one off of Marketplace. And then we have another set of plates for sale. So don't be afraid to look things up that are new to you, and don't be afraid to part things out. Next up, we sold some video games. These came from a bulk deal, actually 2 different bulk deals off of Facebook Marketplace. This is Mario Kart Wii for the Nintendo Wii, and it also came with these 2 steering wheels. We had 2 of them available. They both sold one after the other for $58 with free shipping. It'll be pretty easy to ship them. It'll cost about $9 or less to ship them in a priority USPS box. Another video game sold. This came from another bulk bundle. This is Animal Crossing for the Nintendo Wii again. This one by itself sold for $35 shipped. This came from a bulk deal where I paid $60 for games and the console, so this almost pays for 1/3 of that entire set. I'll cover one more video game. This is for the Sega Genesis. It's Batman Forever. The condition is a little bit rough. This copy sold for $13 shipped. It'll ship for $4 first class, so not bad. We're way into the profit off of another bulk deal that we did with video games. And there's a few left that are selling for about this $10 to $15 price range. I'm gonna hand it back to Melinda and she'll cover another section or segment of what sold.
Okay, so I'm going to cover some electronics first. This small TV, Adine found this on Facebook Marketplace for $7, and he bought it. Adine picked this up without doing any research on it, knowing that these older TVs, because they have this old school audio video outlet here, they are popular with retro gaming. For example, the original Nintendo, the earlier PlayStations, those will work on these old TVs. And a lot of people undervalue these on Facebook Marketplace because they just see it as an old TV. And if they don't know that it's good for retro gaming, you get a great deal. We sold this for $110. Next, we sold this classic VHS DVD combo unit. These are always good flips for us. We don't exactly remember where we picked this specific one up. We have about $15 into it though, which includes repair. We did send it out for repair to our Dr. Nick. Came back, works great, and it sold almost immediately for $60, which was right on par with comps. Just happened to be listed at the right time. We also sold one of these Miro pressure cookers. We like these. We'll pick them up if we see them, if they're in really good condition. This is a 4-quart. We picked it up for $5 at Goodwill and it sold for $45. And the last one I'm going to cover is this Revereware set. If you watched one of our previous videos, these Adine found on an extra trip to Goodwill because the payment taking machines at this particular Goodwill were down. So I asked him if he had time to go back and pay them cash because that's all they could accept. And he did a run through and found this awesome set. They're all Clinton, Illinois, and they're all different sizes. So if you haven't heard us talk about Revereware yet, They're these classic copper bottoms. They have several different locations that they were made in across the US, Clinton, Illinois being one of them. I would stake a bet on the fact that this is from one person's set because they're all the same location and they were sent out at the same time. They all have the lids except for the skillet, but the lid on that 6-quart fits it very nicely. So it's like everything has lids, which is a good seller. And this 6-quart by itself generally goes for a lot. But I decided to lot them up because just walking you through my process, they're all from the same city. Again, different sizes, so it's a good set. And that 6-quart adds a lot of value to it. If we split off these smaller ones, they do have good value to them, but they wouldn't have sold as quick. They'd be sitting for at least probably maybe a week or so, usually before we see them sell, just depending on who's on there looking for them. But you add the 6-quart and suddenly it's a great deal for somebody because they pay up for the 6-quart and then they get these ones for a value. So I valued it at $165. I went a little high with that because that's just my strategy. I can always lower the price later. And it sold within a week, less than a week, like 4 days. So for full asking of $165, we didn't send any offers on it. And we're very happy with that. We have about $17 into the whole set. And they'll ship together. We only have to pay shipping once. I'm going to give it back to Dean. He's going to cover more categories.
I'm going to cover some shoes first. One thing to know about shoes is that if you only have a few available for sale, it's going to take time to get them sold. It's similar with clothing. Remember, with hard goods, collectibles, pots and pans, your audience is generally larger. When you're looking at a specific pair of shoes, someone that wants that style in that size, in that condition, needs to buy them. So just remember to be patient with clothing and shoes. Sometimes they sell instantly, other times it takes 9 months, right? Or somewhere in between. The first pair that sold are these classic Vans. They sold on Poshmark for 30 bucks. Across the board, we have about $6 on average into each pair of shoes that we sell. We also have these Asics. They are the GT 1000s. They're really neat color, floral, pink, bright. They had a little stain, so we definitely reduced the price because of that. We took an offer on Poshmark for $24. Again, on Poshmark, they're the ones that pay for shipping, so we're pretty happy. 6 into 24, they pay ship. It's not a huge gain, but it's out the door. We sold these on eBay. These are Nikes. They're not really anything special, but really nice condition. These sold for $30 on eBay. We pay for shipping, which is roughly 9 bucks. And then these Converse sold for $40. These are the Chuck Taylors. A little bit smaller style, but the condition was really nice. No damage really on any of them. So 40 bucks out the door. Really happy with that return. Next up, some random items. This is a old premium Armid cord belt. Found a bunch of these. You've seen these before on our channel in an old barn sale. They were just in a box collecting dust. This one sold for 17 bucks shipped, 16 or 17, I don't remember off the top of my head. Every single one of these that's sold goes to Puerto Rico, which is just awesome. And they always ship for about $4 first class. Way into the profit already on them. Paid about $1.30 for each one. And then this is an old listing that I'm really happy to see gone. We only have one of these helmets left. This is a Small Soldiers. I can't make out the driver's name, but it's a NASCAR driver. They're just little mini collectible helmets that people collect, right? So about $4.60 into each of them, but way into the profit as all of them already sold besides that one. This one sold for 20 shipped and it's first class, which is nice. It'll ship out for about $5.40. The last two sales were both bought at the same place and they both sold on Instagram. We actually have one more Instagram sale. I have to go grab that one. I'll show you that one as well. So what we do occasionally when we have lots of things or bulk or just things that we don't want to resell individually, we'll give someone else a great deal either to buy and keep or to resell. These pennants sold for I think 35 bucks shipped. I'll have to double check, but they're all from the 90s. They're sports, the Packers, Lions, Michigan State. There's a pretty cool one in here. It's Grant Hill from the Pistons dunking the basketball. So they're just sports pennants, and we're happy to see them go to a new home. So thank you so much for your support, and we'll get these shipped out. Also sold these belt buckles. I'll pop them up on the screen. Vintage and modern belt buckles. We sold these for $50 shipped altogether. There's 16 of them in there. Again, this sold to an Instagram friend. So thank you again very much for your support. Let me go grab that video game. I'll be right back. The last one, also an Instagram sale, going out to Charm City Picker. Thank you so much, Joseph, for your support. It's Super Bowl Tecmo, really nice condition with the sleeve. It sold for $30, and I got this in a bulk deal. A bunch of original Nintendo games and the console for $100. So really happy to see a small dent into that purchase. So this one's going out. That's it for me. Monda's gonna wrap it up with some clothing and a pretty sweet laptop bag.
Okay, so first up is this laptop bag. It's by Toomey, and Toomey is a very high-end travel bag, laptop bag maker. But this took longer than we really had anticipated for it to sell. I don't know why. It's in excellent condition, lots of different compartments, good size. Maybe laptop bags aren't as big of a thing as they used to. Not sure. We only paid $5 for it though, and it sold for $45. We are very happy to see it go because it had a lot of watchers. This is the first buyer. And then our last category is clothing. Between shoes and clothes, we had a lot more Posh sales this weekend. Only 2 of these are from eBay. The rest are from Posh. And as Adine talked about, there was also some shoe sales. We started sharing the closet more than we normally do. We shared the full closet a few times, and I will say that it did increase the number of offers and sales that we made on Posh. So after that experiment, it does seem to help quite a bit the more you share your closet. Getting into it, this first pair of jeans is MEK, or M-E-K denim. Obviously, it's got those flary pockets. We look for that. These sold on Poshmark, and they sold for $25 on an offer. Next is BKE. If you've seen our What Solds before, we really like this brand. It tends to do very well for us. These, as you can see, are new with tags, and they're a capri style. And even though it's winter, just remember it's always warmer somewhere else, especially if you're in a colder climate. Sometimes you can forget that, but people are still looking for dresses and capris and things like that. These we took an offer of $30 on Poshmark. These, you guys. I woke up thinking about these, and then they sold. These are the best overalls ever. They're every 90s trend in the same place. Oh my gosh, they're so great. These are Revolt 90s vintage. I think these are in a what we picked up the other day video, and I love them so much, and I hope whoever they are going to loves them half as much as I do. And if they don't, I hope they send them back to me. Anyway, we picked them up for $5, and I priced them high because I secretly wanted to keep them, and they sold for $60. So that's great. Really happy with that sale. Moving on. Dean doesn't understand my emotional attachment to the 90s.
This is the loudest you've ever been on camera, and it's like you just got so excited. I love it
so much.
Usually you're so
if
quiet.
I ever find another pair, I'm keeping them for sure, unless they don't fit me. So this is an awesome vintage sweater. You guys know I love my vintage sweaters, especially vintage men's sweaters. A little story of this is when Dom was visiting us, when we did our Rally Roots Live, he just mentioned in passing how mohair sweaters were coming back. And that just sunk in with me. And I saw this at Goodwill when I was going through the men's sweaters rack, and I was like, oh, mohair. Dom said that's coming back. Turns out he was exactly on point. This sold super fast for full price on Poshmark, $40. They pay shipping. Sweaters are $4 at our Goodwill. Very happy with that. And then the next one is this awesome, just blue with this bright Nike fade logo across it. Just really cool. It's also very soft. So I think whoever gets this is really gonna just like being comfy and cozy in it. This, we took an offer of $25 on Posh. And this next sweater is actually a sale to a YouTube viewer by the name of Alexander. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And you have great taste, because as soon as I listed this a couple days ago, it had a number of watchers and it actually just continued to gain watchers on it. So congrats to you on beating everybody to the punch. It is a vintage, it's made in USA, fruit of the loom, it's soft. And as a Midwestern girl, this is just a classic scene for me. It doesn't have a name on the tractor, but it's just very Americana to me. And I love these old crew necks. They also sent a very nice message. They said, "Hey there, Hustlin' Hooks. My wife and I love your YouTube videos and support. As a starting out reseller team, husband and wife, your videos have offered us guidance and motivation. And thank you for all you do." Thank you to both of you for your support. And we hope you really enjoy the sweater. So that was a really broad variety of categories this weekend. Hopefully it gave you a new category that you can look for or keep an eye out for when you're out. And before Adine comes back and does the numbers, I just want to say a big thank you to everybody who gave me well wishes, said congratulations, and just had positive vibes to send my way on this new adventure of me stepping into a bigger role in this business. So thank you very much, and Nadine will be back to cover the numbers.